Hey guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to learn what a foreign key is and how to use it. So first, what is a foreign key? A foreign key is simply a column that is a primary key in a different table. So it's either one column or multiple columns that references a primary key in a different table. So it's used to link two tables, but not only that, is used to make sure that there is referential integrity, meaning that there is consistency in data between two tables. So I'm gonna give you a simple example here. So we have a table called books and then students. So books table has a primary key on book ID, and then we have a students table that contains a primary key as well on a student ID, but it doesn't have a foreign key. So in this table, we have this book ID and the title. And then here in this table, students table, we have the student ID, name, and the favorite book ID. And then favorite book ID is what we can link to this table here in book ID. So we can see that student 101, Alice, has favorite book ID 1, which is this. And then Erin and Catherine both have favorite book ID 2, meaning is this. And then student ID Joe has favorite book ID 3, which is this. Okay, so this is how we're going to link two tables. So now there's no foreign key, but there is a primary key on it, and we know we can use this column to link the two tables. So I can do like a simple query here. So I can select from my books table. Let's just give it an alias B, and then I can simply inner join it with the students table. And I'm going to call it S, and then I'm going to join it on B dot book ID equals S dot favorite book ID, because student, we cannot join it on student ID, it's based on the book ID. So I'm going to join it on favorite book ID here. Okay, let's execute this. So we are able to join these two tables on this column, favorite book ID. So we can join it without even creating a foreign key. But here's what happens. So let's say if I insert into this students table. So if I insert into a students table value, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert into students table. I'm going to say student ID 105, and then let's just give it a name, Nathan. And then for the book ID, I'm going to make something up. So I'm just going to say 10 here. So now let's see what happens here. I'm able to execute it, but if you notice here, without the foreign key, I'm able to insert bad data into this table, and it's gonna affect our referential integrity. So now the data is not of good quality because you have all of these that are valid values in here, but this 10 does not even exist here, so it's meaningless here. So all of these are like valid values here, but this 10 is an invalid value. It does not even exist in this table here. So I'm able to insert bad or inconsistent data that does not even exist in the other table. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna delete this record again. So I'm gonna delete from students. I'm just gonna delete this bad record, and let's select from this table. Okay, so we have the same records as we had before. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna alter this table, alter table students, and I'm gonna add a foreign key constraint. So this is how you can alter a table to add a foreign key after it's already created. So I'm gonna say alter table students, and then I'm gonna say add foreign key, and then I'm gonna say what column am I creating the foreign key on. So it's the favorite book ID. So let me just copy from here, and then I'm gonna say what does it reference. So if I'm creating a foreign key here, what does it reference? It references the book ID in the books table. So I'm gonna say references books, this is the table name, and it references book ID column. So let's execute it now. Okay, ran successfully. So now we have a foreign key. So now we have a foreign key now here. Let's select from our table again. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to insert that dummy value again here, that incorrect value. So 105 Nathan and 101. So let's execute this. So you see we got this error here because we are trying to insert a value here, 10 here, that does not exist in the books table. We are trying to assign a favorite book ID to a student, and that book ID does not even exist in the parent or this other table. So it's gonna fail here. So this foreign key constraint is already maintaining data integrity between these two. So now let's say if I enter like a valid value, so let's say if I enter 3, now 3 is a valid value here because it's 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm inserting a new record. I'm saying 105 student ID Nathan has a favorite book ID of 3. 3 is a valid value. So if I execute it now, it's gonna run successfully. Now let me select from these tables again. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to delete something from here. So I'm gonna try to delete from my books table. So I'm gonna say delete from books where book ID equals 1. So now I'm trying to delete from this table where the book ID is 1. This is gonna fail again because this is linked to this other table, and then this table references this book ID 1. So it's gonna fail because it's gonna break the referential integrity again. So it's gonna fail here. So if I try to execute it now, it's gonna fail again because we are trying to delete something that is already being used in this other table. So let me select from it here. So if I really want to do that, if I want to delete something from here, what I have to do is I have to delete the references too. So what I can do is I can delete from student where favorite book ID equals 1. I'm gonna first delete this. Now my students table does not have a student whose favorite book ID is 1. So now I can delete this this book ID 1 from this table because it's no longer being used in this other table. So now if I try to execute this, if I try to delete it, it's gonna delete successfully. Okay, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you for watching.